Everyone, I'm the reporter of China Media Group, and right now I'm at Chaoyang Park in Beijing. And today, the 3 days big event of Beijing Chaoyang International Tea Culture Festival will kick off a little bit later. So today, I will invite all of you to follow me to have a look what we could have in this big event. And here is one of the branches of the event. In this event, everyone, you could not just have a good taste of high quality Chinese tea, but also you could have this fruit, different kinds of Chinese traditional culture. Because we know China is a native homeland for tea, and it still has a very long history of Chinese tea culture. But today, we would like also to invite some special guests to join us. And they will accompany us to make a tour during this exhibition. So right now, let me introduce our first guest today. Hello, good afternoon, how are you?
Tristan.
Christian, so here is the microphone.
Thank you.
Christian, would you like to make a small presentation to our audience of CGTN?
So I am 18 years old. I am here for my first year of bachelor's degree in China, and I am studying at Beijing University in a curriculum where I learn both Chinese and engineering, so where I can communicate and share with Chinese students as well as a lot of students from a lot of different
So is it your first year here in China?
Yes, it is. So I'm still discovering the culture.
So what's your major impression about the Chinese traditional culture?
I think there is quite a respect with regards to the natural aspect of things, with melding kind of nature and the human touch. So, for example, when we
Entering
see
this garden?
right, mixing the...
So what has drawn your attention here in the garden?
I quite like the phoenix. Because,
the phoenix,
yes,
the red one.
Because I have quite a love for mythology and fantasy. But even seeing the how delicate the work is with
art craft,
working
and
around
because
the tree.
this kind of art craft is still a tangible cultural heritage in China, because all of these red artificials here, they are produced especially for this exhibition, for the tea festival. So let's go in, and we could have another exhibition. It's about the tea porcelain.
Okay, sounds interesting.
So, so maybe we could put...
Yes. Thank you.
So, in today's event, we could have some information about the Chinese tea. But firstly, I would like to ask you, do you know what's the meaning of China?
Well, in France, we usually when we speak about China and culture, we think of porcelain. And because I know that in English they're the same words, not so much in France, but it is the main thing we think of when we think of
porcelain.
Chinese, exports, after
so
tea.
when we say China, China is China, and China is also the porcelain. Because in here, the first exhibition here, we are looking at is about the Chinese exporting porcelain. And this kind of painting is more especially for the ancient Chinese porcelain port. They are usually focused on the daily lives to describe the daily life of the ancient Chinese people, and also to show some traditional garden. Do you like it?
I think it is quite pretty, especially in the detail that is put into the landscapes and even such small things as the trees, which we don't usually think of as the most important part.
So actually, according to the history, in the Qing dynasty, Chinese tea and porcelains were exported to the European countries more and more frequently.
Yes, we have a lot of porcelain which shows up in so for example, French castles that date back to the Renaissance, so the 17th and 18th century. And we have quite beautiful exhibits from China.
Because this year it marks the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and France. And usually, in some special occasions, I was told that we take the porcelain gifts to the foreign government.
Yes, there. So even dating back to the French monarchy 300 years ago, and when France started to exchange with China and trade with China, we had ambassadors that brought porcelain from China to give to the kings as gifts, and they are quite beautiful and quite highly regarded in France.
So I have a question for you. Before you came to China, are you interested in Chinese culture, and why?
I think ever since I was little, I did have this curiosity about architecture, traditional architecture in China. And then, well, since I quite like mythology, I've read about stories and from traditional mythology in China. And I had very good teachers that I could ask questions to discover this culture.
Okay, so actually right now in this courtyard, we have some special exhibitions, and the customers could have the experience of the Chinese drawing and the Chinese typical tea ceremony in Song Dynasty. So, which are you interested in?
I think the fans are quite beautiful.
The fans are quite beautiful. And would you like to try? Maybe.
I can try.
You can try. 您好。
I can't guarantee anything.
好。Hello， 我们是中央电视台CGTN 平台正在做一个直播，然后我们的法国留学生是我们的嘉宾，可以给我们简单的讲解和让他体验一下吗？可以的。Say have a seat。
过来放一下。
Thank you。
这可以上色，可以自己写画都可以。
Have a seat.
Left, right.
You can have a seat here.
Thank you.
And the professor can have a seat. 您可以坐在这儿。
这么做。
OK。拍他，我给他别一下这个。So this is you are drawing bamboo, right? 您是在画一个竹子。
对，竹叶。我这也是现学啊，现学现卖的啊。到时候一会儿。
So is that your first time? This lady told me he's at first beginning to learn how to paint the fan. 那画扇面有什么特别的要讲究的吗？
就是咱们扇面上的元素，基本上都是咱中国传统文化元素，比如竹子呀，然后还有这个桃啊。
So usually when we drawing a fan, we select those traditional elements, like the bamboo and the flowers and some peach, because peach in Chinese culture it means a longer life.
你看这就是喜上眉梢，这个喜鹊嘛。上了一个梅花，这不是属于咱们非常好的一个中国传统文化元素。是竹子就是节节高啊。
So in Chinese culture, bamboo means you can make progress little by little. And this one, it means a bird in a tree.
来两笔。
Have a try.
来坐这儿来。Sit down, please.
谢谢。
But do you know how to hold 毛笔？
这样吗？
You have learned that before, right?
对。
对，就这样，就咱们平常拿笔的这个，
这样，这做。
It's quite different to hold a pen.
这个就让它第一个往上画的时候使劲摁下去，先摁下去，然后轻轻的一点点往上走，到最后的时候一点点抬起来就行。先沉下去，
At
慢慢
first,
明
you
白了。
need to make a little bit stronger.
Yes, I understood.
Okay. So because you have learned Chinese for more than 6 months.
Yes.
Yes.
让它画一个往上走的，就这个就可以往上走，这样走到这儿来。
Just make a try.
再使劲，让它使劲按下去，然后一点点抬起来。
You could press.
然后一点一点一点一点飘，
You could press a little bit harder. And more faster. 是不是也应该快一些
Very good. Very good.
好。
我觉得
So
你
maybe
比
you
我
need
做
more
得好。
practice.
往这边走，就往下，使劲，
Harder.
harder.
Okay, that's good.
Very good. Very good.
你比我做得好。
Thank you.
谢谢
谢谢你。
谢谢。
谢谢。So let's go. It's a little bit hot, right?
Yes, I'm not very good at painting.
So let's move into the courtyard. Look, right now, a lot of the Chinese young girls, they really like to dress in the traditional clothes. That means hanfu.
Yes, I heard the name before. We usually see them when we visit touristic sites.
Do you know what does that mean?
数字中袍不知道是什么意思。
数字冲泡。
对。
数字 means digital, and 冲泡 means to brew the tea. But actually, I don't have an idea what does it mean by 数字冲泡. Then let's go and have a dig out the answers. 您好。哦。您好。我们有一位法国留学生刚刚看到了你们的数字冲泡，然后不太理解。实际上我也一知半解，所以只能来请教什么叫数字冲泡茶叶，因为我们一般讲到的茶都是要tea master。那 what does that mean by to brew a cup of tea digitally? What does that mean?
这个数字冲泡呢，就是中国的茶叶的类别非常多。
Because in Chinese tea has different kinds of classification.
如果按照发酵度来讲，他们更容易理解。
And for the variety of the demonstration,
比如说
for example,
花
the
茶
jasmine
绿
tea.
茶就是不发酵。这个
For example, the jasmine tea and the green tea, it doesn't need to.
Infuse as long.
对的。
Exactly.
然后发酵度高一点的是乌龙茶，是半发酵。然后再高的是红茶，所以它不同的发酵度，也就造成了不同茶的类别，它的冲泡的这个时间跟这个剂量。
So different types of tea, it needs different kinds of skill. But when you mean skill, 但您说到的这个技术是不同的，是具体指什么？
是指
But when you
这个
mean the
冲泡
different
的
kinds of skill means
冲泡的手法，就是冲泡的浸泡时间跟水温是不同的。
the timing and the temperature of the water, they are different according to different types of tea. For example, 那您给我们举个例子好吗？
举个例哈，比如说现在是泡的是个茉莉花茶。
So if we take the jasmine tea as an example.
对，好。
So we need to scan the code.
先要扫码。
Okay.
自动识别。
It's just like the coffee capsule. 但是我们为什么要做这样的一个冲茶的机器呢？ But why do we like to have this kind of tea machine? Because usually we have the coffee machine, right? Coffee machine is more popular in European countries.
Yes.
And in China, when we talk about tea, we need a person to brew the tea for us. 就是我们一般在讲到茶的时候，就中国人都会想到茶艺师。那么在欧洲，可能咖啡机会更流行。
咖啡机它是一种相对还是比较单一的。我这么说明吧，因为咱们不同的茶，它的冲泡手法不同，就好比说红酒、醒酒，不同的红酒，不同产地的醒酒时间也不一样。
实际上，我们您想表达的是，就是我们也要标准化的去冲茶，是为了让不懂得茶的人也能够享受到一杯好喝的茶。So that means if you are not a tea master, but according to the standard process, you could still disfruit a great flavor of the tea. But what's the best flavor of tea?
香吗？
这个味道很好。
The fragrance?
味道很好。
Yes. So this is jasmine tea.
According to that, it is.
谢谢。
那我们现在有几种口味的茶叶呢？
有5种。
So far we have 5 different kinds of flavors
有茉
of
莉
tea:
花茶、
jasmine tea,
有白茶、
white tea,
有这个红茶，有
black tea,
铁观音，有
乌龙
大红袍，乌龙对。
乌龙
铁观音跟大红袍都属于乌龙tea。
exactly.
乌龙茶。
铁观音和大红袍
对，都属于半花轿。
both belongs to 乌龙。
对，你看啊，它就非常标准的。那么也就是说，你在冲泡的时候，你不用去考虑它。
So maybe I think it's more saving the time for the younger generation. 我觉得可能对于年轻一代的人来说，就是它可能会更省时间，因为你不用看着它，你只要摁一个键，它就可以出茶。So I think for the younger generation, the more important is when adapting to the tea custom is to saving time, more convenience. More convenience 就是对于年轻人可能需要更方便的去冲泡茶。好的，谢谢您。So let's go. Thank you.
谢谢。
Good to know that. But it's really new for me because it's my first time to have this kind of capsule tea in here. Because it was said in the capsule is still the tea leaves.
Yes. So it is not
tea
tea powder.
bags. Yes, exactly.
茶送给他。
Oh, thank you so much.
谢谢你。
And I have a small gift for
一
you.
带一路。
It says it's the One Belt, One Road.
APEC 的专用茶。
And that's the special tea gift for the APEC summit.
谢谢你。
好。
谢谢。
Thank you so much.
有空就过来吧。
Yes, that's because according to the Chinese culture, it says for every time you need to send some small gift for the customers. Thank you.
I think it is a very nice gift
So
and a good custom.
a good custom. So I think it's totally different from the European custom, right?
Yes, I think in Europe, usually it is more, we'll bring, or it was more around food rather than drinks. But so, for example, when we receive a guest, we will start by serving them something to
Coffee.
drink rather than a gift.
Okay.
Usually coffee or tea we drink at the end of a meal. At the beginning, so it can be, usually it is alcohol. Although now that is starting to change because some people do not like to drink alcohol as much, so we are starting to see more and more tea being used in its place or other similar drinks.
Good to know that. So I have a question for you, Tristan. Do you have an idea how long of the Chinese tea history?
I would say a few thousand years, as I think it has always been a part of China's culture.
3,000 years.
For example.
For example, actually I have not quite clear idea, but here in this lobby, this small exhibition show, I suppose it's about to introduce the Chinese tea history. So let's go and find out if your answer is correct or not. Okay, so let's go. So here, do you know what these characters mean?
I can recognize the individual characters, but I do not know why they are together.
Why they're together? Actually, this character, it means tea in Chinese.
Yes.
And this means leaves. And the tea leaves means the tea.
But
Tea here
why the
in the
different
upper,
elements? Yes.
Exactly.
Why the
In the
grass?
upper part, it means the grass. And here, it means the Chinese character 人. And
Fu.
abajo, at the end is the mu.
tree, yes.
Mu means trade in Chinese. So here, I have heard what a Chinese ambassador in Colombia, he said, the cha means the harmonious between people and the nature, because that means a person who is working between the grass and the trees. So I suppose it's very easier for you to remember this character, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here, according to this kind of book, it says the Chinese tea history has more 6,000 years from the leaves to tea. But I'm not sure. I would like to ask someone why they have this kind of definition. 您好，我们想问一下，为什么你们会说这个茶叶有6000年的历史了呢？中文也可以。
是，因为我们江苏市最近也是看到我们在浙江的田中山遗址出土了我们世界上最早的人工种植的茶树，有一些茶根，树根我们会通过检测之后发现它的茶氨酸的含量会非常的高，来证实了它是茶的树根，所以说呢，一下子就把我们茶叶原本说是3000年的历史，就往前推到了6000年。
Oh, good to know that, because he said according to some architecture discoveries before in Zhejiang province, and they have found some relics of the tea trees, and it could track back 6,000 years ago. So that means maybe in more than 6,000 years ago in the region of China, it has this kind of plant. But actually, I would like to inform you that at the very first beginning, the tea in China is not just for the beverage. It has the function of the medicine. Because according to a legend in China, is that there is a person whose name is Shen Nong, and he would like to taste hundreds of plants. But one day he was poisoned. And then occasionally he just ate some of the tea leaves. And then he got recovery and refreshed. So from that moment, tea has his function of medicinal. Yes, exactly. So have a look at this. I suppose this is the ceremony in the ancient times. At that moment, the people, they are not just pouring the hot water to the teacups, but they are getting used to brew the tea. 你好，这个是原来煮茶的一套工具吗？
对，它是this is our ancient Chinese teapots, and in Tang Dynasty,
Tang Dynasty.
Yes,
Okay.
1,500 years ago, Tang Dynasty, Chinese people used to put tea in the teapot and brew it with fire.
But
So, yes.
why at that moment the people they were like to brew the tea?
So the flavor will be more strong.
Stronger.
Yeah, will be
More
stronger. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Good to know that.
Yes.
So
I
would you like to
also-
smell it?
Or have a
Why
taste
not?
of it.
Oh, we could have a taste of that. Would you like to have a taste of that?
Why not?
Why not?
I heard that.
It's white peony tea.
It's
and
white peony tea. Is this
Yes,
one? So where does
yes.
it come from?
It's from Fujian province.
you.
It's from the southeast part of China.
Yes. And it's made in 2015. And in China, we call white tea that some kind of medicine functional. Yes.
Good to know that.
And
So
it's
tea is fermented.
yes, it is fermented tea. Yes. So you can see its color is darker.
Darker.
Yes, than the last fermented tea.
And so, how long do teas usually ferment? How long
For
does it
white
take to
tea.
prepare it?
For this kind of tea, it's fermented for about 50 years.
For
So-
15 years.
Yes, it's made in 2014.
But it's just for store 15 years, so for fermented for 15 years.
While you store it, it's also fermented. It's a
Continually?
yes, fermented
Okay.
process. Yes.
I haven't known that before.
Okay.
So, what's this part to show?
As you can see, we have 6 kind of Chinese tea in this exhibition, and we distinguish tea by its fermented method. And you can see this is green tea, yellow tea, and black tea. And would you like to have a try of the yellow tea?
Would you like to try more? Maybe I could try.
It has a unique floral flavor, and it tastes very good.
So I have noticed that on this board it has different kinds of these cravings. All of them are the different kinds of tea in China.
Yes, you can see the tea's Chinese name and its English name. We have present about 30 kinds of representative Chinese tea.
This time.
Yeah, this time.
Wow.
So
30 kinds.
do all teas use tea leaves, or do you also have teas made from other plants? I know there is jasmine tea, huacha.
Yes.
But is it just jasmine, or are there other plants used?
For jasmine tea, this is jasmine tea, and for jasmine tea, we use it with flower and the tea leaves. And while the process,
So the aroma is from the jasmine.
yes, we
But
put
the tea leaves is still from the green tea.
Yes. You can smell the floral smell of
Aroma.
it. Yes.
It smells like jasmine,
Yes.
like fresh jasmine.
Yes.
Okay. So in this zone, you still have the different kinds of tea, but it's
Yes.
divided not just by the methods of processed tea, it's divided by
Geographically.
geographically.
Yes.
For example,
For example, this tea is from Huangshan. It's called
Anhui
Huangshan
province
Yes,
in the central part of China.
Yes, and this tea is Dafang tea. It's from Zhejiang province. Yes, and Dahongpao is from also
Zhejiang province is famous for the
green tea. Yes.
So
And
especially green tea comes from. What's the best seasons for taste of green tea?
spring. Spring is
Spring.
the best season for green tea. Yes.
So usually we use different kinds of methods to reserve the fresh flavor of tea
Yes.
from spring to the whole year.
Yes. The best way to storage green tea is to put it in your refrigerator, in your fridge. Yes.
So I suppose this is the map of Chinese tea.
Yes. And we have the map of Chinese tea, and from north to south, there are teas around this country. And today we have presented you about 30 kinds of Chinese tea, and you can see the northeast farm that growing tea is Laoshan
Okay,
in Shandong
in Shandong
Yes,
province.
in Shandong province. And also the southern farm
Here
it
is in
green tea.
Fujian province.
Yes, where it comes out great oolong tea, and the southern parts that grew tea is Yunnan province. There are many dark tea here. Yes.
Christian, besides Beijing, any other provinces have you ever been to in China?
So
before?
for now, I have only been up north, so to Harbin.
Here?
And to Inner Mongolia.
In Mongolia.
I would love to go to
They are
the
all
south
in the
of China.
north and the east part of China, so maybe
Yes.
next time if you would like to have a tour of the tea, you could go into the southern part of China.
I think that would be
Especially
very
because I
interesting.
think in the south part of China, they are not just have the more strong hobby, the customer to drink tea, but tea has become a part of their lives. For example, in Hainan and Guangdong province,
Yes.
in the very south part of China, and the people they how to say
tea in
they
our daily life, like every day. Like when
And-
there's guests come to our house, we will we will serve them tea, and we mostly we serve them oolong tea.
Oolong tea.
Yes, in
And
Guangdong.
you also prepare the tea ceremony for them.
Yes, yes.
So in here, could we have some other interesting part in this show?
Yes.
I suppose here it has different kinds of the pronunciation and the vocabulary of tea in different kinds of language. For example, the Japanese, Korea, Arabic, India, Thailand, Uzbekistan, Portuguese, all of them. Then how to pronounce tea in French?
So in French we say thé,
Tip,
thé.
tea,
Yes,
similar to
tea.
tea in
Yes.
English. And I know in Spanish, the pronunciation is de. They are all similar.
Yes.
But actually, in the upper part of this chart, look, more than 10 of the languages, they pronounce cha.
Yes, in the same
Cha
way.
in the same way of Chinese when we call tea cha.
Yes.
So I suppose this is could also have to show how the Chinese culture influenced the other parts of the world through Chinese tea.
Yes, and it shows that China is the originated country of tea. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And besides that, in some parts of China, when they have the breakfast, they call it we drink the morning tea, and they could drink for the whole morning.
Yes.
Exactly. Also, here is the tea ceremony section.
Yes. Here we host the tea ceremony. Here, we will mostly serve about 3 guests here,
Okay.
and we sit together and talk about the weather or the about their
Some
daily
small
lives.
conversations.
Yes, we share our small conversation here, and we have a better taste of the tea here.
Exactly.
Yes, tea is more like a daily drink in our Chinese people's life.
It
Yes.
creates the social scenario
Yes.
for all the younger generation.
Yes. Yes.
It is what links people together, just like wine in
Exactly.
France. Yes.
That's
Yes.
a good expression.
Yes.
Okay, thank you
Exactly.
so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So here I would like to show you, in this area, it looks like just like a small museum of the Chinese tea leaves.
There are a lot of different varieties.
Yes, exactly. So from here you could see even or in Fujian province, but according to different parts and different humidity, it has the effect for the quality of the tea. So that's
it is
interesting.
very similar to how in France we speak of
Coffee,
different
wine.
of wine. Yes, with how different grounds or different dirts, different humidity levels
French
will make
is more famous
more or less
for-
good wine.
For
yes.
cheese and also for wine.
And especially every year we will have people who say whether a crop of wine will be more or less good because of the weather, because different weather conditions will make very big differences in the taste of the grapes, and so in the taste of the final wine. And I think it is very similar with tea, that these conditions have a very important.
Yeah, because I
Very
used to
important.
be the correspondent of the China Media Group in Latin American countries for almost 7 years. And during that time, I found a very interesting phenomenon is when I talk with my Latin American friends, maybe they are not so familiar to the Chinese culture, but every time when they learn that I came from China, they say, "Oh, I really like Chinese tea." But when I ask them, "What's the flavor? Is your best choices?" And they will say the green tea or jasmine tea. So my question is, in the European countries, what's their favorite kind of tea in your daily life? In their daily
So
life?
I think the main tea drinking country we know is usually
Asian
Great
countries.
Britain, well, in
Great
Europe.
Britain, in Europe, yeah, exactly.
And they are known for their black tea, which is very strong. And So, for example, there's what's called gunpowder tea, which
Gunpowder
is
tea.
yes, so the word gunpowder does not sound very refined, and it is known for being very strong. But now in France, we are also starting to develop a culture around tea, which is quite similar to that of wine. And when you go into a tea store in France, you will find a lot of different types of teas. So very similar to China, because they usually come from China. So with jasmine tea, green tea, what we call black tea, which is hongcha, so red tea.
Exactly.
And there is kind of this respect of the origins of tea, where you will have the region it comes from, so whether it be in China or in Japan, or nowadays also India. So we like to know how a tea was made and not just drink it as a basic drink.
Okay, thank you so much. Because just now I saw some of your friends are over there, so maybe you can join them, and then we will meet you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can have a small tour here, because besides that part of the exhibition, in the garden, they will have some musical show later.
Okay, thank you.
So I will join you later. Yes. So everyone, so right now we are going to the third part of the the event today. So right now we are in the backyard of this garden, and I would like to present you our second important guest today, and is the Minister Consular Commercial in the Embassy of Sri Lanka. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you I'm very pleased to be here today.
So would you mind to make a small presentation to our audience?
Thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to be here. Chaoyang Tea Culture Festival. So it is amazing. This is exactly a festival. I can see beautiful girls wearing nice dresses. How they project Chinese tea culture in this Chaoyang part. And this is a very good opportunity for me to share our tea culture with the audience and to see how similar both countries' tea population.
Yes, exactly, because Sri Lanka is also the third largest country for in the exportation of tea in the world, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So this dress is so traditional.
It is, we wear saris usually. We had two types of saris. One, ladies wear, we call it Kenyan sari, but this is some kind of the easy sari. But this is made of batik. Batits.
It's a kind of traditional
Sri Lanka unique textile fabric to Sri
But
Lanka.
that's different from the shali in India. Totally different.
Totally different. Totally different. You can have any kind of design.
So I think this is also a representation of the diversity of culture in the world.
Yes. Yeah. Any country, they have our uniqueness to project to the world, to see. When you see this kind of sari, anybody can recognize, oh, it is come from Sri Lanka. So likewise, our tea, we are promoting our culture in different ways.
Yeah. So just now, have you have a small tour in this garden?
Very pleased. Yes.
How do you like it?
I did it because I saw some other the Fujian kind of tea. And different regions, their tea presentations and some special handicraft artifacts.
So here we can still see some small art crafts from the traditional Chinese culture. And like this one is that it calls fish lamp, but in the night it could light.
We can see, we can enjoy the night time. Yeah, it's very beautiful, and these reed wares. Sri Lanka also very famous for reed wares. Yes. We do produce the
But it's still from bamboo? Or
bamboo.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the common area with Sri Lanka in
Yes,
China.
Yeah, they are different. The speciality people, they made this kind of even furniture from
even furnitures.
furnitures, yes, household items. Yeah.
Because Sri Lanka is in the Indian Ocean. So the
an
whole
island.
country is like a forest.
It's an island with
It's an
tropical
island.
climate, but we are very much pleased to be with all kind of because it's a we must say forest gardens there.
Yes.
Very history UNESCO World Heritage sites. One is Sinharaja Forest. So island wide, there are so much of diversity, but there's a distinct differences also.
So, because just now I learned some information about the Chinese tea, is that in China we have more than 50 provinces. They have their own tea industries. And I would like to ask you, in Sri Lanka, how is the cultivation of tea in Sri Lanka?
Yes, Sri Lanka also has very diverse, the taste, uniqueness depend on the geographical location. Usually depend on the elevations. We have 7 type of geographically identified tea types.
Seven
Seven
according
different.
to
According
the
to the
location.
elevation.
Elevation.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah, from sea level up to 2,000 feet, we call it low tea, low country tea. 2,000 to 4,000 we call mid country tea. Above 4,000 we call high drawn teas, up country tea. So
but more higher, the
more
quality
higher.
is
Everything quality is very good, means quality, high quality. But you see, when it comes to high elevations, taste very light taste with light color with strong taste,
light color, stronger flavor.
a stronger flavor.
It's totally different from Chinese tea.
Yes.
Because normally in Chinese tea is more darker the color, the flavor is much more stronger.
It's different. Norelia tea, you can see when it grew, it's very light color. Udupusellava, Dimbula, yeah, Badulla district, mid part of the country.
So look over there, we still have some Chinese young girls. They are
Yes.
wearing the traditional Chinese
Yes.
dress.
Yeah. Because tea always, it's a festival. You gives the dresses gives
Exactly.
it festival flavor.
Exactly. So actually in this garden is more traditional Chinese architecture
Yeah.
garden. And in the lake, because usually we need to have the rocks, the lakes and the trees, because it means to create a harmonious relations between China and the nature. And also in the port, we could see a lot of
Yes.
fish.
Yeah.
But do you know what's the meaning of the fish in Chinese culture?
I know it's blessing. Fortune.
Blessing, exactly. So you are so familiar with the Chinese culture. So take care. So just now you mentioned something about bamboo. So look, here is the bamboo.
Yes, yeah, rattan, and we very the usual export basket includes various handicraft products. So this bamboo, the handicraft items and brassware, those kind of products are very familiar. It's a very skilled craft items. I have seen China also. When we visit some places, they are very familiar with skilled handicraft items.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And actually in this area is more quiet. Because in China, in Chinese tea culture, we really emphasize the environment of drink tea, especially for present the tea ceremony or tea banquet. Because sometimes we think the tea could help people to refresh their mind and to help us to calm down. It's totally different from the front area.
Yes.
In there they have the music, they have so many people, but in here we are so quiet. So I would like to would you mind to do me a favor and to show us the differences about Chinese tea and Sri Lanka tea?
Yes, I would really happy to
Yeah.
show you. But you exactly correct. The tea drinking culture is charming environment.
Exactly.
You need, it gives you after hectic daytime, when you drink cup of tea, you get very relaxation.
Exactly. So, because I have talked more than 40 minutes, I suppose 我已经谈了40分钟了，能不能给我尝一杯茶？这个茶是冰茶，是吗？啊 ，This is the cold brew.
红茶
No. 他问这个是红茶吗？绿茶，这个是白茶 ，white tea。
Yes, white tea.
这个怎么开？
白茶。
啊，
由我们的茶艺师给您
OK，
接好。
好。
现在我们喝
Have
的
a
是
taste
谢谢
白毫银针，
白毫银
白茶里
针
面最好的。
是最好的。
对，
哦
因为它采摘的话是一个纯芽头。
，He said this is just a pure bud of the tea.
Tea, yeah.
So that's in the best or the first class of the white tea,
Yes, yeah.
and it's
It's very refreshing.
refreshing. But the flavor is light.
Right.
It's light, but a little bit sweet.
Yes, yeah.
Do you
Because,
like-
I like this. It's very. I think I can see the difference of Ceylon tea and Baicha. Because yeah,
Sri Lanka also has white
White
tea.
tea. We
OK，
do
他
have
说
white
斯里兰卡也有
Yes,
白
yeah.
茶。
Baicha.
斯里兰卡白茶跟咱们中国的白茶应该是制作工艺上有一些区别，所以咱
But
们
the
的白茶的话
processing-
绿色、灰色的干茶状
But the
态。
processing
It's different.
Method is
yeah,
different.
Different. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
你像
Because
咱白茶，中国的白茶的话，制作工艺就3个步骤：采摘，然后呢是
这边
萎雕，萎雕完了之后，然后就是干燥。
尾雕，
尾雕就是
什么意思
让这个茶叶采摘下来，然后进行一个摊晾嘛。然后因为采摘下来的芽叶它会比较偏软一些，让它里边的水分走湿一部分。然后之后的话就是再干燥。
So it says in the Chinese culture they just have 3 steps. For just they just collect those tea buds at first, and then they have another process, and then just to store it.
然后尾雕之后，然后就是干燥了。反正白茶的话
To dry
就是
dry
所以我们
OK
中国的白茶就讲究1年茶、3年药、7年保，就是陈放的越久越好。
So in the Chinese culture, they mean for the white tea, it's better to store longer year, for more
Longevity.
long years.
longevity.
For
Yeah.
1
Right.
year 1年茶
3年药、
1年茶3年药
7年保。
7年保 That means for the first year, it's just a tea.
Yeah,
But for
okay.
3 years, it could serve as the medicine.
Oh.
And 7 years, it could be a treasure in your family.
Yeah.
它品饮方式也比较广。
你得就着我的麦克风说，
哎好
不然会听不见。
行，然后像现在我们喝的就是专为夏季的时令季节的一种冲泡方式，就是把这个茶叶置进凉水浸泡就可以了。然后呢，还可以用这个小的杯子打包带走。
是，这个我们都知道，看出来了。He said because nowadays for the younger generations, for the citizens peoples, some of them could use this kind of bottle just to bring this kind of tea
Yes,
to
yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, that's
And
good. Yeah.
like this. 那像这样的一瓶要卖，哎呦
我们是
，sorry，
3个等级，银针的话就是68，然后牡丹28，
这么
然后
一瓶儿，
对，一
是吧
瓶一杯，
哦，一杯。
对。
He said, for example, because this is the first
Yeah,
class,
right, yes,
so it
first
is
class.
68 yuan for
Right.
one bottle. 这也不便宜啊，是不是？跟咖啡比起来，
是的，因为这个算是我们最好的等级。它每年的话采摘期只有10天。
Do you like it? But
Putting
you have
white
the
tea.
cup?
Yeah.
Top. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy to carry. And
So
yeah.
with that one, it could be more convenient. 用那个是不是更好放一点
对，那我这些女
？More
生是
convenient
yeah.
with that one.
No, I think yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yes. Yeah.
So, So in Sri Lanka, the people, they would like to drink the cold tea or the hot tea?
Usually hot tea.
Usually hot.
Yeah, hot tea. It
他说
gives
在斯里
some
兰卡还是比较习惯喝
different
热
feelings.
茶。
哦，热茶可以的。热茶我们也是
热茶
最传统的一种冲泡方式。最传统的冲泡方式的话，我们热茶可以用100度的沸水烧开之后直接冲泡就行了。
So actually, in China, in ancient times, we also get used to drink hot tea
tea, yeah.
with the boiled water.
But in Sri Lanka, we manufacture these kind of teas, white teas, in artisanal manner. It's a home, it's by hand.
It's by hand.
By hand, everything. Pluck,
See,
whether the drying process and rolling process, everything
so here
by
I
hand.
suppose you have bring us some of the examples.
Yes, yeah. We here, you can see Sri Lanka.
This
You
is
see
the
the map of Sri Lanka, yes.
It's like a tear.
Yeah, it's
So,
beautiful island located in the
north
Indian
to
Ocean.
south?
Yeah, Indian Ocean.
Indian
with,
Ocean.
Yeah, with a population of 21 million.
21
1
million.
million,
他说
yes.
斯里兰卡是在太平洋上，然后有200多万21 million 2100万人口，跟
The
北京差不多。
对。
It's the population is similar to Beijing.
Beijing, yes, yeah.
So have a
little
seat
more
over there.
Yeah, you can see the newer area. Most tea producing upcountry tea. We call it upcountry tea. It's newer area, the central part of the country. Kandy, Nuwara. This is the area that mostly tea producing. But you can see
In
the
the central
tourist,
parts.
yeah,
In the central parts.
central part of the country.
他说
And
在斯里兰卡中部应该是他们产茶最有名的一个地区。
I shared
But
with
in
you some
China,
handicraft.
but in China is the more low,
Low.
more south.
Yeah,
the southern part
Yunnan,
of China.
yeah.
就是在中国应该是更南部产茶，
对，偏
产白茶，对吧？
Yunnan province and
Yunnan
Fujian,
province and Fujian province. So you are so familiar with those
You
provinces
can see
in
the
China.
diversity of Sri Lanka with different tourist attractions. We get these days a lot of Chinese tourists into Sri Lanka.
Good to know.
Yes,
说
yeah.
每年都有斯里兰卡有很多的中国人去旅游。您去过吗？
这个没有。
斯里兰卡也是第3大产茶国，你们茶商应该有一个交流。
We
So maybe
welcome you.
next time
Yes,
could
we
hold
welcome
a
you to
tea
visit.
Festival exhibition there in Sri
Yes,
Lanka.
yeah.
So there are 4 different kinds of
No,
tea
this is
leaves.
actually white tea. I just wanted to show you.
Okay.
Yeah, silver tips. But here we will be making tea using this Ceylon, pure Ceylon black tea.
This is black tea.
Black tea.
This is like tea bag.
Yes, yeah, tea bag.
But in Sri Lanka, the people are used to drink tea bags or this kind of tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Yeah, but no, tea bag, usually tea leaves home, but our exports, usually we get tea, this kind of
Bags. It's more convenient
mokani.
for the office
Yes,
or for
yeah.
tour.
So, I'll show you how to make a good cup of tea.
Good.
Yes, yeah. First, we need to always be advised to keep the tea, get the high quality tea, keep it in a airtight container.
Okay.
Then it will not lose the aroma. So
Of
it will
course.
keep the quality taste in a good condition.
Exactly.
Yeah. Before making tea, we always boiled water to the boiling point. Bubbling point we say. When the water
But
gets
what's the
bubbling.
best temperature?
It's
80 or 85?
90
90.
degrees, but it's reached to the bubbling point.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
So is it 90 degrees?
degrees, I hope so. So always
More or less.
it's easy. Today I will take for our convenient. We will make it using
Porcelain pot.
yeah. This is
Okay.
the difference between even Chinese tea culture and Sri Lanka tea culture. We use this kind of teacups. I have seen China small teacups.
Exactly.
Still keep on drinking. Yeah. So
So maybe later we could go inside to have a taste of the Chinese
yeah. So to make two
Chinese tea set.
yeah, to make 2 cups, I put 2 tea bags.
Okay.
So I'll put some boiling water. sufficient for 2 cups. So to get the brewing, it's to get the real taste, color, always we keep it closed for just, it says 3 to 5 minutes, you get the real
3
taste.
to 5 minutes?
Yeah, but we can see, before that I will show you how tasty it is. Yeah, usually when we prepare, you can make it the plain tea without sugar, milk. We used to drink that way. But if you like, you can put some sugar. If you need some energy to drink, when you put sugar, milk, you get some different.
So that's more like to drink coffee, because in coffee we usually are getting used to put some milk
and
or sugar.
But here I'll show you how it get taste.
But in China, right now, we still have the bubble tea, and bubble tea is also very popular around the world, because when I was in Latin America, in Brazil, in the Asian zone in Sao Paulo, there are so many bubble tea shops there.
The bulk tea imports to China, major portion used to prepare bubble tea.
Oh, really?
Yes, but it's for the ready to drink, to get the younger generations attract to the tea drinking culture, but still to preserve our culture, because tea doesn't just not a beverage. It's a hospitality, the medium of hospitality, medium of socialization. You know, when a family or friends visit you, we always start with cup of tea. This is the way of even.
It's similar to keep this kind of tradition, generation or generation.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yes, just to see our gesture, our friendship, we gives.
It's much more fresh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can see.
It's a little bit sour.
No,
bitter?
it's bitter.
It's bitter.
If you need some, you can make it very lightly. Can put some water.
So in that case, I understand why you would like to put some milk or sugar.
No, but it's not just. This is the taste of.
Okay.
Yeah, Ceylon tea.
Good.
It gives the hot tea always gives you some refresh.
So actually, it's more European style to drink tea.
Yeah.
Right.
We call it breakfast tea.
Oh, yes, breakfast tea.
Yeah.
So in Sri Lanka, usually the people, they are getting used to drink tea at what time?
Early morning.
Morning?
Early morning when you wake up.
Okay.
You get drink cup of tea. Then morning tea time, like 10:30, we drink a cup of tea. Then evening, afternoon tea time, 3 p.m., 3 to 4, 3:30, we drink another cup of tea. When we have, even after meals, dinner, when we have
another cup of tea.
Another cup of tea. Usually average 4 cups of tea daily, but lot of people, they make it for 6 times.
Wow, 6 times?
6 times, yeah. It's a, like...
But actually, I have a question, because in Sri Lanka, it's very hot and humid, I suppose, because it's in the ocean, right? So why the people, they are still getting used to drink hot tea? Because I suppose the people in the very hot seasons, they prefer to drink some cold beverage.
But for our tea, drinking culture, actually it doesn't give only a beverage or prevent for thirst. It gives you some relaxation, some spiritual mind after hectic work, to give some free mind refresh to your next task. Reason, and we call it as a health drink.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We know China discovered tea with identifying its health benefit. So that's the same way Sri Lanka also understand its health benefit. So it gives, it enhance your immunity even. So we really enjoy drinking tea, the offering tea in our socialized.
So maybe we could make a small tour further to the garden.
Yeah.
Because in there we have more cultural exhibitions. 我们再往前面走一走，是不是还有其他的展览？啊，谢谢。So let's go and we could have another tour. And I have one more question for you. It's about the relations between Sri Lanka and China, because we know Sri Lanka is an exportation country.
Yeah.
So what kinds of the products they are export right now, besides tea?
Yeah, Sri Lanka exports, our export baskets includes gems and jewelry. Gems, precious stones, colored stones. Sapphire, the Lambaoshi. Lambaoshi. Yeah, so gems and jewelry, gems. China is our biggest consumer market for our precious stones. And then seafood, maybe you have tasted shrimps, prawns, Sri Lankan crabs. So we do export seafood. And Sri Lanka is an apparel manufacturing country, high-end garments. In our exports basket, we have a high-end apparel. And there are very diversified agricultural product range we do export.
So maybe in the future we could still export the market of touristic in
Definitely
China
we
for
will,
both our countries.
We will introduce Ceylon cinnamon, fresh pineapple, and various chicken feet kind of products, poultry, chicken feet. It's very popular demand. So
yes, exactly.
We are considering many products put into the Sri Lankan export baskets in near future.
Yes. So look over there. I suppose some of the artists, they are playing their traditional Chinese music. So I really hope you enjoy the event today.
Yes.
And I hope someday more and more Chinese people, they could go into Sri Lanka and to disfruit the Sri Lanka culture and the beautiful scenario and the environment.
We welcome. We invite our Chinese friends to visit Sri Lanka, enjoy Sri Lankan tourism and authentic Sri Lankan food, dishes, Sri Lankan spices, gems. You have many more Sri Lanka is waiting to offer.
And for this event, for this International Tea Culture Festival, it will hold 3 days. And I really hope that you could bring more friends to this event at this weekend if you are free, and to enjoy the light show in the evening here. Because in the evening with the light show, the lake and the garden could have different kinds of amazing picture.
Yes, I can see the beauty of Chaoyang Park and the people around. Definitely we will be here to enjoy this event.
So at the end of the show today, do you have any other comments about this event to share with our audience?
Yes, this is very important, timely organized, because 21st of May is the International Tea Day according to the UN identification. So this will be a very timely to project Chinese tea culture, Sri Lankan tea culture, even other tea producing countries to join with this event and enjoy this. Yes.
So I would like to say this is the end of our live show today. So please say goodbye to our audience.
Goodbye. Yeah, enjoy.